Alright, isang maganda at mapagpalang umaga po sa ating lahat. Today is Wednesday, September 23, 2020 at muli pong nagbabalik ang GKNB Mag-Online Learning Webinar Series. Na-miss niyo po ba kami? Well, we hope so. We're back guys para muling magbahagi po ng panibagong kaalaman para lalo tayong maging G na G sa ating mga online learning. Well, sa UP po nagsimula na ang ating mga klase noong September 10. So far, kamusta po mga isko at iska? Hopefully ay all is well, ano? Virtual hugs po sa lahat ng ating mga scholars para sa bayan. Laban lang po tayo araw-araw, okay? Sa mga hindi pa po nagsisimula ang klase, gamitin po natin itong panahong ito para talaga namang mahasa tayo at maging handa sa papalapit na pasukan, lalo na po sa ating mga minamahal na guro from DepEd, maging sa ating mga mag-aaral. And of course, good morning sa mga early birds sa ating FB Live. Kanina pa sila nakatutok, ano? So please let us know kung saan po kayo nanonood ngayon. So please comment down below kung saan po kayo nanonood ng GKNB Mag-Online Learning Webinar Series. At marami po tayong nakita na names na talaga namang suki na natin ano, sa ating webinar series. So andito pa rin po ba kayo? Ayan, mag-ingay po kayo sa ating comment box. At grabe, no? Muli salamat po sa inyong patuloy na pagtutok at pakikibahagi sa ating programa. Siyempre, batiin din po natin yung mga ngayon palang tumutok no, sa ating webinar series. Interesting po ang topic natin for this morning and talagang gusto rin po talaga namin matuto nitong mga tools na ito. Ano? So again guys, kung hindi nyo pa napanood yung ating mga webinar series before, lahat po yan available na, no? Nasa YouTube channel po namin at saka po sa aming FB page, available for replay. So, para sa ating live webinar ngayon, huwag kalimutang itag yung ating mga kaibigan, yung mga friendships natin dyan, yung mga kaklase, mga kasamahan natin dito sa ating video. I-share nyo po yung itong video din natin para mas marami pa po yung matuto sa ating pag-uusapan or i-discuss sa So for today's session, meron po tayong 665 registered participants. So I hope on board na po tayong lahat. Time check po, it's 10:04 in the morning. So welcome to GKNB Mag-Online Learning, a webinar series on how to study at home under the new normal. And today's session is our one entitled Mind Mapping Tools, How to Make Online Learning Effective and Memorable. I am Cheryl Ed Hermosa Ebron, the University Extension Associate of UPLB Learning Resource Center, and today I will be your moderator for this session. Okay, so just a few reminders once again. Unang-una po sa lahat, always keep your comments helpful and considerate to your speaker, to the moderators, and to your fellow participants. And again, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. Just comment them down below our comment box. They will be addressed by our speaker after the discussion. And also, don't forget to ask relevant questions to our topic, okay? And then lastly, kindly answer the evaluation form after the webinar because Team LRC will deeply appreciate your comments and suggestions. Sa mga hindi pa po or sa mga hindi makakanood ng live today o kaya po naka-mobile data kayo, don't worry. As requested, we will upload the session sa ating YouTube channel. All the previous sessions are already available there. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. O, diba? Alam nyo na yan. I-click nyo rin po yung ating notification bell para updated kayo palagi sa ating mga videos. And of course, gamitin nyo rin po yung ating official hashtag ng webinar series. It's hashtag GKNB Online Learning para madali po nating makita yung ating mga videos and resources using that hashtag. So, ano na nga ba yung mga naging sessions po natin? Di ba nagkaroon tayo ng 6 sessions on how to get ready or how to be G sa ating online learning. Ang dami po nun, ano? So, from session 1 hanggang session 6. So, for session 1, it's be cool. For session 2, it's be lit. And then session 3, it's be on cam ready. For session 4, be extra. And then session 5, vibe check. And the last session natin ay session 6, slaying it like a pro. So hindi po kami nakontento na 6 series lang yung ibigay sa GKNB Mag-Online Learning. Kaya po nagpahabol pa kami ng isang session pa. Okay? So Ayan, simulan na po natin ang ating session sa ating umagang ito sa isang energizer activity para ma-exercise na po agad ang ating mga brain cells. So sa mga umattend na ng previous sessions, you know what to do. Talaga namang sanay na kayo na mag-menti.com. At sa mga ngayon pa lang po susubok, huwag po kayo mag-alala, madali lamang po ito. All you have to do is open a new browser or a new window and go to www.menti.com. And then second, use our key code. It's 6215585. You can also see the code sa inyong screen, guys. So pakisagot lamang po yung ating tanong doon. Actually, kung follower po kayo ng ating Facebook page, alam niyo na po ito. But let me just also share my screen para po makita natin yung live results ng ating menti.com. Alright, so let me just check ilan na kaya ang sumasagot sa ating menti. Okay. Alright, ayan. Alin ka madalas kapag kumakain? Nakakutsara, tinidor, nakakamay, chopsticks, o depende sa mood? Ayan. I'm seeing on my screen, meron ng 7 sumasagot, 8. Lahat po ay, most of you ay nakakutsara at tinidor. Meron pong isa na depende sa mood. Ayan, walang nakakamay. Chopsticks. Social. Ayan, 2 na yung depende sa mood. Nakakutsara at tinidor ay 16 na po. Wow, may naka-chopsticks. O, di ba? Bonggang-bongga. Ayan, sige po, intayin lang po natin. Keep it coming, guys. So, alin ka pag madalas kumakain? Kami po, or ako personally, depende sa mood. Pag masarap na tilapia ang ulam, tapos may halong talong, mga ganyan. Nakakamay, parang beach lang, di ba? Pero pag complicated ng kakainin, at ayaw mong madumihan masyado yung kamay mo, kutsara at tinidor tayo. Okay? Alright, 42, 43, siguro paabutin lang natin ng 50, probably. 44, 45, ayan, keep it coming. 46, ayan, talagang madami ang nakakutsara at tinidor. 6 ang nakakamay. 14 ang depende sa mood at may isang naka-chopsticks. Aba, Korean ba ito or Chinese ba ito? Okay, ayan, that's it, 52 na po. So let's go to the next question. Ayan, what do you expect to learn from session 7, which is mind mapping tools? What do you expect to gain from our session today? So para mabigyan natin ng idea yung ating speaker of what you expect to learn from our session this morning. Sige nga. Okay. Aba, nahihirapan yatang magsagot. Wala pang sumasagot. So please, kahit one word or, ayan, okay, strategy, techniques. Ay, teka, may chopsticks. Ba't nagkaroon ng chopsticks doon? Baka para sa first question yun na. Ayan, how to manage my thoughts. Ayan. Informative, ano pa, strategy, new strategy, efficiency, education, how to be more effective, easily understand, or ano pa ba? How to make use of it. Tama, how to make use of the mind mapping tools. Alright? So various, ano? Various yung mga expectations natin. Wala tayong nakikita na medyo ayun, strategy. Madaming sumasagot ng strategy, efficiency, techniques. Okay? Techniques and how to use the mind maps. Okay? Ang dami. Visualizing my inner world. Effective tips. Oh, okay. So yan, I'm seeing on my screen 3 words, ano, yung parang feeling nyo ito yung talagang, karamihan sa inyo, ito yung gustong mag-gain from our session. Tips and tricks, strategy, or strategies, techniques, and then may humahabol, organize my thoughts. All right. So once again, thank you so much, guys, for joining and participating with our menti.com. So, ayan, sama-sama tayong na-amaze na naman sa live results ng ating menti.com. Ano? Alright, so, okay, let us now move on to our main part. So, wag nating patagalin, no? Our main part for this session on mind mapping tools. First, allow me to introduce to you our speaker for this morning. He is a CINEO Fellow and an accomplished global education professional with wide-ranging international operations and policy experience working at the country level in Asia Pacific, Middle East, in Africa, Asia, and with global initiatives. Our speaker has a strong track record in leading international teams in analytical work, setting strategic direction, program design, portfolio management, and managing complex education and social sector projects, especially in the area of student learning assessment, monitoring, and evaluation. He is also a licensed psychometrician and certified assessment psychologist with extensive experience working with international and multilateral organizations in low, middle, and high income countries. He completed his PhD in education, major in research evaluation, and in cognition psychology in UP Diliman, and Master of Science in Educational Measurement and Evaluation and Graduate Diploma in Cognitive Psychology. He is a former Associate Professor of Psychology and Education at De La Salle University, Manila, and Professorial Lecturer at UST Graduate School. Formerly a Senior Education Specialist of the World Bank Education Global Practice for Middle East and North Africa region. At present, he is a Senior Education Consultant of the Asian Development Bank and Chief Executive Advisor of Interchange International Consultants Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, to teach us how to make online learning effective and memorable through the use of mind mapping tools, please welcome our speaker, Dr. Richard DLC Gonzales.
Okay, maraming salamat, Cheryl, for the very kind and generous introduction. Good morning to all of you. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Assalamualaikum. So for today, thank you very much, UPLB Learning Resource Center, for this kind invitation, particularly to my good friend, Professor Benji Flor, which I fondly called Acham Benji. So maraming salamat sa pag-imbita sa akin para makasama sa inyong webinars, a series of webinars on that will support students, teachers, and others and parents especially on online learning. So I don't know whether I'm successful in sharing my screen, but let me just okay. So can you see my screen now? Is my screen visible now? It's still going, you know. Or otherwise, I will ask Josh to just simply share my screen. Okay, so it's working. So maraming salamat. So as I have said, I am Richard Gonzales. I am Doc Chat. For today, I am here to share with you some ideas and have conversation on how to make online learning. I would like to know whether we have non-Filipino or non-Filipino speaking participants here. I understand that the coverage of this webinar is
Alright, so nagkakaroon lang po tayo ng konting technical glitch sa end ni Sir Cha. Ano po? So, habang iniintay po natin siya, ayan, I think bumabalik na po si Doc Cha. So, Josh will be sharing the PowerPoint presentation. Ayan, welcome back.
Okay, yeah. It's instead, yeah. Okay. Maraming salamat. Okay, so Josh, can you just do the honor of sharing my slides? So this is my first slide. So I have been introduced by Cheryl. So maraming salamat. UP Learning Center. Next slide, please. Okay, probably I will just raise. So my name is Gonzales. I have to repeat. So I was saying yes a while ago that if there is any participants in this webinar who cannot speak English, please let us know so that I'll try my best to speak in English. Otherwise, if everyone can speak English and understand Filipino, I'll try to switch from time to time to Filipino. Okay, maraming salamat. Okay, next slide, please. So what is happening now? So the reason probably, one of the reasons why UPLB Learning Resource Center has organized this webinar because of what is happening now. Okay, almost everyone is going online learning, and online learning is no longer an option, but it has now become the mainstream modality for learning. And the main question is, how do we know how our students' online learning is modality are learning? Okay, and an online learning environment opens up a lot of opportunities. So 10 years ago, we've been talking about future learning, future education, which is through online learning. Now, with the COVID-19, it just happened overnight. And then all of us are trapped into this online learning, but it opened up a lot of learning possibilities, and it's giving us also lots of learning possibilities and lots of opportunities. Okay. Um, Next slide, please. So I also want to share lessons learned from COVID-19 pandemic on schooling. This is taken, by DepEd. You know that, we now shifted from old school to new school, or from old normal to a new normal. And one of the, in terms of education, okay, it's no longer face-to-face, hindi na yung pumapasok tayo sa eskwelahan, or blended or structured. We now move into remote learning, flexible, differentiated, diverse, and performance-oriented learning. So all those from kindergarten up to higher education, even TVET, are now doing online modality of learning as well as distance learning. Okay. Um, Next slide, please. Okay, so what is the focus of our conversation today? Okay, I would rather have, say, conversation, because I would like you to participate. Okay, it's quite difficult to participate in an online environment, but with the use of polling and everything, we can have a conversation. So the focus of our conversation is mind mapping. Okay, how to use them. So I'll try to discuss what mind map is, okay, what's all about it, and then I'll try to discuss what is concept map and mind maps, what's the difference, and how to do both concept mapping and mind mapping. Okay, and on the other side of that brain of that is how to manage time using mind maps. Okay, how to use mind maps mapping effectively, and we have to learn from our lessons as well, like why most people fail. Okay, okay, yep. Next slide, please. Okay, yeah. This is $100. Okay, but Benjamin Franklin is the $100 bill of the U.S. Okay, not I am sharing this not because I am a fan of Donald Trump, but I'm just sharing you what Benjamin Franklin has said. For every minute spent organizing, it's an hour is earned. So this is our first quote of the day, or pulot of the day. Every minute spent organizing, an hour is learned. Okay. Um, yes. Slides, please. Okay. So my presentation, I've divided my presentation into 3 parts. Part 1 is all about mind mapping. Okay, how to do, and I'll give you some examples. Okay, the second part is the more sophisticated, more methodological, more way of mapping is the concept mapping, and how to do concept mapping, particularly for important knowledge. And the third one is how to manage time match, and we end with the presentation with question and answer if we have time. Okay, next, please. Okay. Part one is all about mind maps. So you will notice like these are all maps, just like roots. If you are plantitas or plantitas, there you can easily associate with this. So mind maps, you have structure. Okay, and I know this is not your first time to hear mind mapping or concept mapping. You've been doing this, from your grade school, from your high school, from your university, and you have done probably a lot of mind maps, which you think are simply obra maestra. So it's a masterpiece. Okay, next please. So let me just define what mind map is. So a mind map is an easy way to brainstorm thoughts organically. So it's a support for a way of organizing our thoughts. Okay, one of the expectations that that was mentioned here is you want to know how to manage your thoughts better, more efficiently, more effectively, and with the use of mind maps. And hopefully, we'll be able to achieve that at the end of this over an hour presentation. Okay, without worry about order and structure. So it's a mama is a free-flowing way of a presentation of what you are thinking, your ideas on a particular subject matter. Okay, the picture on the other side of the slide is just simply a very organized way of presenting what a mind map is. Okay, but you will notice later on that there are better ways, or there are more artistic ways, creative ways of presenting your mind map. In fact, a mind map can be used as a simplified content management, CMS, because it allows you to store all your data in a centralized location to stay organized. Okay, it's not only on your subjects or courses, but it can also be used in your everyday life. Which I will share several mind maps later on after this, after in the presentation. Now, next, please. Salamat. So, furthermore, a mind map is a diagram representing tasks, words, concepts, or items linked and arranged around a central concept or subject. Okay, basically a mind map, it's spiral way of presenting your thoughts. So it's just like it's just like coronavirus. You have one center, you have so many spikes. Okay, and these spikes would be your task or words, or even phrases that will help you understand or organize what the main concept or central concept really mean. Okay, a mind map can turn into a long list of monotonous information, okay, into colorful, memorable, okay, that works in line with your brain's natural way of doing things. Okay, uh, of course, the more creative students or the more creative teachers will come out with the better mind maps. But as I have said, uh, it's a free-flowing way of presenting what you are thinking. Next, please. Okay. Next, please. Okay. So it's a tool to entice, to delight, stimulate, and challenge you. So it has been highly effective way of getting information in and out of your brain. So mind mapping can be used for planning. So you have projects, goals, strategies, creativity, thoughts, etc., productivity, even collabs, okay, like teamwork, sharing, and of course, we also have the benefits of mind mapping. Okay, next, please. Um, okay, the mind map has been introduced. Okay, the origin of mind map is from Tony Buzan. He's a British psychology author. Okay, who argued that traditional outline requires that the reader scans the information from left to right or from top to bottom. Okay, remember, if you remember, there are exercises in your classes wherein your teacher will ask you to look at something. People look at a thing from left to right, or left to right, or up and down, or top to bottom, or bottoms up. So that is, okay, how you would what Tony Busan tries to show what mind map really is. Okay, it's for assumption that cerebral hemisphere, the left and right hemisphere, in order to promote exclusive use of mind mapping over the other forms of note taking. Okay, there's several registered trademarks. If you are more if you are interested more about knowing Tony Buzan, you can easily Google him, and then you would see him. Okay, his profile and everything. He's an author, he's an educator, he's even a sportsman, an advisor, achievements, and then he developed the software, the IndMap. In fact, okay, the IndMap is one of the popular software for mind mapping, which basically introduced by Tony Buzan. Okay, next please. Okay, so there are 5 essential characteristics of mind mapping. Okay, we have the main idea, which is usually at the center, and you have the branch. Okay, they have several branches. Okay, which you think are the which radiate from the central image as branches, and then from the branches you have the twigs. Okay, so you have this interconnection. The branches comprise the key images or keyword drawn or printed on associated line. The topics lesser importance are represented by twigs. The branches form the connected nodal structure. So this is basically the 5 essential characteristics of mind mapping. It has a main idea, you have the branches, and you have twigs. Parang plants lang yun, no? Parang mga halaman lang yun na, you have the branch, the trunk, you have the branches, and the twigs. Of course, after the twigs, you have the leaves and the flowers and the fruits, etc. Okay. Next, please. Okay, so how to mind map? Okay, first you begin with the main concept. Okay, and then after you have identified the main concept, you add the branches to the main concept. Then explore my topics by adding smaller branches called twigs and add images and picture. This is how you create a very structured, structured yet free-form way of presenting what is in your mind. Okay, so it's just like, instead of writing a narrative way, a narrative form of defining a concept or explaining a concept, you can define it by having these branches and twigs and put some images. Okay, and adding picture would basically enhance your mind map. Okay, next please. Okay, so this is a simple mind map for distance education. So you have the distance education. So putting things about distance education. So it's just simply writing down words and phrases. So distance education is learning anywhere, anytime. Online social networking. There's an extraordinary growth, accredited and reliable education. Because it's not only in publications that we have predators for distance education. We have also unreliable and non-accredited distance education providers. Okay, nonetheless, probably we can still learn from it. So it also allows us cultural awareness, future project, and online resources. Okay, if the distance education also triggered us, and this is about the beauty about distance education and distance learning is that it allowed us to look for thousands, gazillions of online resources. Okay, next please. Okay. So, now I'm sharing you some examples of mind maps so that when we come to the time that I'll ask you to do a mind map, then probably you'll be able to do something. Okay, so this is for teachers, applicable for teachers. So you have the daily lesson plans in the classroom, outside the classroom. So in the classroom, what do? You need resources, bell ringer, discussion, wrap up, and then in the online, you have homework, project input, output, etc. Okay, and then like bell ringer activity, like journal, like discussion, and so on. So this is how you would present your mind map for a daily lesson plan. Next, please. Yeah. I know you would also like to do a mind map for for a lecture, and this is an example of a lecture notes, introduction to accounting and finance. you have lecture 1, lecture 2, and this is how you would like to organize your online learning, particularly if because of internet connection, you miss some lectures, you miss some assignments, then probably this is how you would like to have them, like, so that you'll be able to catch up whenever you miss some classes. So this is an example of a mind map for lecture notes. Next, please. Yeah, okay. Again, okay, for exam preparation, you would like to have a mind map so that this will allow you to more or less be more prepared for your exams, particularly in an online learning where there are more temptations, like your bed, you have your beds, you have your TV, you have your cell phones, you have your TikToks, Facebooks, everything, okay? And so when you want to be more efficient, okay, in terms of preparing prepare for exams, you could develop also a mind map. So in exam preparation, for example, so you have to repeat information, study structure, read and highlight, make flashcards. Probably flashcard is no longer relevant now. Do practice problems in mathematics, for example, and then you assess information. Are they important, or is this something that I need to learn more, or I need to not to give importance? And then time, okay? Resource, memorize, and then you have test structure, like be prepared for any kind of test structure. Is it essay, problem, multiple choice, okay, and so on. And work group, it's also, you also have to, and then of course your resources. Do you have books, notes, and online resources, okay? I'll give you other examples on mind math. Probably, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. Yeah, this is also a mind map for this problem solving mind map. Okay. Um, and this is basically, it is basically important to both teachers and students when you are doing problem solving. Like you would like to discuss what problem solving is. You can, in fact, the beauty of mind map is that if you're a teacher or if you're a student, you can come out with just one page of one map of a particular concept, of a particular knowledge that you want to remember, and you can just reflect them, or you can just put them together using mind maps. Okay. You don't need to memorize. In fact, the mind maps will help you understand better what the concepts are. Okay, the second, next, please. Okay, so this is also a mind map for critical thinking. Okay, the subject, the purpose, the questions, information, assumption. In other words, when you are doing mind maps, okay, you also have to identify from the main concept or from the main problem. You have to identify sub problems, and then as the branches of your main topic, and then you have the tweaks. Okay. Next, please. I would like to, we'll guess, okay. This is also a population environment, okay, mind map. So this is an example, like if you are in your ecology class, for example, or NBSI class, you would like to come out with something that you can just in one page, you can easily, especially when you are taking exams, okay. This is very easy way to organize your thoughts in terms of population environment. You have the population, what are the government policies, the growth, change, resources, land use, etc. Okay, so next, please. Okay, this is for studying a country for social sciences students. If you would like to study a particular country, right, the facts about name of a country, then here. Okay, of course, sorry, I don't have any example of the Philippines, but probably one examples that you could ask your students, or one performance task that you could ask your students for teachers who are attending here would be to, how do you present a mind map studying a country? Okay, second, next, please. I would just like to show just example. This is part of speech. Next, please. This is an ecological relationship. Okay, so you have independence, competition, the adoption, and then the symbols, etc. Okay, so yes, you see that in the mind map, you just have to come out with the key words, and then you have the twigs or the subwords. Okay, uh, I don't say less important words as very important words because in then you have the ecological relationship. Next, please go on. And then this is for basic taxonomy. You have the Animalia, Plantae, Fungi, Crustacea, Antibacteria, and so on. Okay, probably if you want to identify, and then next, please. And then this is also a mind map for scientific research, okay, for your students. And then, here, and then next, please. And then, of course, you have the identify the problem. And then, so let's try to make a mind map for COVID-19. Okay, can we do it? Okay, so this is how, can you show the next slide, please? Okay, so, since we don't have time, this is an example of COVID-19 information. You have the COVID-19, the virus, okay, symptoms, transmission, prevention, treatment, disease, pandemic. This is a very clear and concise, very easy way to understand what COVID-19 is in terms of transmission, in terms of symptoms, in terms of prevention. How do you prevent social distancing, stay at home, washing and wear masks, okay, less contact, and so on. Okay, so it looks beautiful. I told you, like, mind map, you can be as creative as you can in presenting your thoughts and organizing your thoughts as well. Okay, so look at it, and then probably if you are to make a presentation about COVID-19, okay, it's easy. Like for in terms of transmission, through the face, through nose and mouth. That's why don't touch your nose, don't cover your nose, cover your mouth, and cover your eyes because of droplets. There are three important. So it can be transmitted through the eyes, through your nose, through your mouth, and by means of the droplets. That's the reason why we're wearing masks, okay, and even face shield. Okay, in terms of symptoms, you have fever, loss of smell and taste, you have difficult breathing, and you have an incubation of 14 days. So, ang ganda, no? Ang ganda-ganda. Like, I like the eyes of the COVID here, but I don't like him. But, the good thing is this is an easy way to of course, I don't like to mention this remdesivir because there are other medicines now being used, for COVID-19 information. Okay. I think this ends the first part of my presentation, and so we now go to the second part of my presentation, which is a more exciting one, which is concept mapping. Okay, so while later on I will discuss the difference between concept mapping and mind map for you to understand, for to appreciate whether you need to do concept mapping and like my first encounter of concept mapping is when I went to Japan, and when I entered my professor's room, the first thing he asked is, "Do you know Joseph D. Novak?" And I said, "Like, who is he?" Like, no, I don't know him. Well, he's a famous professor in University of Cornell. And I simply said, "Oh yeah, JD Novak." I say, and then he gave me a book, and then he said like a concept mapping, and of course, it's all about because when I studied in Japan, I was a research student for cognitive psychology, and my professor asked me to do concept mapping, and so I ended up writing a thesis, a research on semantic structures using concept maps. Okay, now next please. Okay, so what's the difference between concept maps? Concept maps are tools of organizing, similar to mind map, similar to your other graphic organizers. The only difference is that they include concepts, usually enclosed in circles and boxes, just like your organizational structure, and the relationship between concepts or propositions is indicated by linking or or linking word between the two concepts. So here, concept map represents organized knowledge that is context dependent or is concept that is combined proposition, etc. So in other words, okay, one box, okay, is related with what we call a proposition or a linking word or a phrase that will tell the, okay, but by looking at it, you can make your own storyline, okay, from the topmost word, which is, for in this example, the concept map, okay. And so, you know you, you know and this is different. Like, if you notice, the mind map is just spiral, okay, and each branch or twigs are not connected to each other. Like, each branch, it has its own twig, another branch, it has its own twig. But in concept map, you have to establish interconnectivity and interrelationships between concepts or propositions and between words and phrases, and you have to have words in between two boxes, like okay, concept maps represents organized knowledge. So that one is already one proposition, okay. Uh, Proposition may be cross links, okay, or creativity. You need to see intercorrelation between different map segments. So you will notice that concept map is more complicated, but it gives you a better way of presenting your ideas, okay. And you can make your own storyline, okay, just looking at the concept map. Next slide, please. Okay, so while mind map has been introduced or originated from the ideas of Tony Buzan, the concept map has been developed more scientifically, I must say, okay, by Dr. Joseph Novak of the University of Cornell in 1972, okay, which basically founded the theoretical underpinnings of concept map is from the David Ossover learning psychology, that which fundamental idea is that learning takes place by assimilation of new concept proposition into existing concept, okay, and new and proposition frameworks held by the learner, okay. You will notice that in probably for students who have taken your basic philosophy or philosophy 101, the concept of tabula rasa, okay, that tabula rasa means nothing is on the head. That's not true. There are a lot of things, okay, there are a lot of things in our head, and the only thing that we knew for us is to assimilate, okay, everything that we see into the new concept and process into our existing knowledge, okay. You have already existing knowledge about virus, okay, but virus, for example, the coronavirus just came out in late last year, and so you now have this new concept, although these are entirely not new concept, but you are now making new propositions, adding to what you have in mind and making it into a new concept, okay. The knowledge structure held by the learner is referred to as individual cognitive structure. We have all have already what we have in mind. That's why even when we are assessing, this is for teachers, okay, even when we are testing, when we are assessing students, and a student gets 0 in a test, okay, it doesn't mean to say that the student does not know anything, except that, okay, he knows a lot, except that we ask questions that are not, okay, that are not either that are not actually he knows approach. Sorry to say, okay, it doesn't mean to say that when a student gets 0, he does not know anything. It's except that we may probably ask the wrong question, okay. So sometimes getting 0 is not entirely the problem or the fault of the student. It's probably 75% fault of the teacher. Okay, one, it's either you did not teach well and the student did not understand, or you asked the wrong question, or the students studied other things, but you asked other questions, okay? Out of necessity to find a better way to represent children's conceptual understanding, emerged the idea of representing children's narrative in the term of concept map. This is how concept mapping originated in 1972 by and proposed by J.D. Novak at Cornell University, okay, who happened to be the professor of my professor when I studied in Japan. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so in concept maps, there are graphical tools, just like your mind maps for organizing, representing knowledge. They include concepts, usually include, I said, like linking two concepts. Words online refers to as linking words, linking, specify the relationship between the two concepts. So for example, this is an example of a concept map for plants, okay? You notice that plants have roots. That's one proposition. Plants have stem, okay? And then plants have leaves, okay? And uh, stem support leaves, leaves produce food, food store seeds, etc. So you will notice the interrelationship among the concepts, main concepts, by the use of what we call linking words or linking phrases, okay? In the difference in mind maps is that you don't have this have, support, produce, usually, etc. Next slide, please. Okay. A concept map, again, okay, the label for most concepts in a word to sometimes use symbols. They even make use of symbols. And we have propositions which are actually statements about some object or event, either natural or construct, okay? So here, and we have something, there are sometimes called semantic units or units of meaning, okay? So here, like when you speak of, like when you, one word, for example, is chopstick. So what are the first things or words that come into your mind? So you now list them down, okay? And then, in fact, you know, when I was attending the concept mapping course in Japan, like, and it was in Japanese, so it was said, okay, write anything about chopstick, which is ohashi, and then write 20 words. Like, you know, I don't have so much vocabulary yet, Japanese vocabulary yet when I was attending the class, so I can only write 2 or 3 or even 5. So, but in concept map, the best practice is you should have at least 20 words which you can try to link, okay, to the major concept or major idea or main idea. Okay, next please. Okay, so concept maps are different from the graphic organizers in their free-form structure and emphasis knowledge. Okay, which is why concept maps allow many relationships. Okay, so concept maps, you know, kailangan may relationship. Okay, okay, and concept maps is the mind maps are more straightforward. Okay, some brands may tweaks, but in concepts, medyo babaero o lalakero itong concept map because you need to get relationship from anywhere and you try to connect. So many to many relationships. Since people use the chart maps and even timelines. Okay, next please. So there are 4 elements of concept maps. So we have the nodes, okay, the linking word, verbs, or cross-link. We have the preposition, and we have the structure and the focus. Okay, please. Okay, and then and I try to explain these 4 elements of concept map. So every concept or idea is put inside a box, usually rectangular shape. The boxes are called nodes in concept mapping. Ideas and concepts should be concise in a word and short phrase. It's also, okay, a concept inside the box, and then you have the nodes, okay? And then you have to, you know, and each node, you have to have to link to another nodes, okay? While in mind mapping, okay, each branch or each twig will, is going in its own way. No, wala siyang pakialam. Basta ako, diretso, I'm going to the left, I'm going to the right. But for concept maps, you need to establish relationships. Okay, next, please. The second one, the second, like, okay, this is also the cross link. So you have to use the words, okay, several words like as, you know, like here, mas challenge yung being your challenge your being creative in terms of use of words, use of phrases, and then when you are developing concept maps. Okay, they should have more than 2 to 3 links connected from other nodes, at least 3. Next, please. Okay, so you now have the preposition. This is what I was saying, like a preposition should form a meaning form sentence. So remember, plant has plant has three plants has stem, plants have leaves, and so on. So each preposition, okay, because we all know that any preposition, a preposition is always a complete sentence. So, and it should be meaningful. Okay, so relationship shows the concept map. Preposition structure is also the characteristics of concept map. So, again, you have several prepositions in a concept map. If you have, okay, and each link, okay, each box linked to another smaller box or smallest box, you know, there is what we call, I say, there is a flow of the storyline, okay, or your preposition, and each link is a sentence in itself, or it should be a meaningful sentence. The third element, next please. The third element is the structure. Okay, concept map can be widely free form, but ideal form will be hierarchical structure. Okay, you have down, or you know, and then you have the right, left, relate to, and so on. So this is how, okay, you can either top down, left to right, or you can have the, you know, left right. So you have first, connect, and so on. So yeah, there are 2 ways. Okay, the first one is from top, and then the second, and then the second one is from left to right. Okay, of course, if you are Chinese, Japanese, etc., like probably you start from right to left. You know, it depends upon the way you write your writing system. Okay, next please. Okay, the last one is focus question. Okay, an underlying assumption. Focus question is the problem or issue that the bank is aiming to the bank. Okay, meaning to say, aiming to the bank or aiming to explain. Clarity of the focus question influences the difficulty of making and using the diagram. Underlying assumption is the model you use to analyze the focus. It is nice to have, but hard to figure out at first. Skip if you have no clues at first, but do think it during revisions. Okay, similar to mind maps. Okay, it is a continuous improvement. Like you know, you can just start with one nodes and then several nodes. Even for mind map, you can just start with one branch or 2 branches, and then you can have twigs and later on. The underlying theory forms the question to provide the context and as a concept until you have a total, okay, explanation, or you're trying to explain or debunk a particular question or problem. Okay, next please. So there are steps in concept mapping. Okay, first you have to prepare. Okay, preparation, which is focusing the questions and research. Okay, the second is brainstorming, which is the concept generation. So yung sinasabi ko kanina na you have the main concept, and then maglista ka ng mga mga terms or concepts that you would like to connect to explain your main question or your main concept. And then you determine the structure. How do you determine the structure? By concept organizing. Remember, in concept organizing, you can do this by having linked words or cross links. Okay, that's step 3 and 4. So this is the step 3 and 4. Okay, the step 3 and 4 is more challenging than step 1 and 2 because you may have come out with several terms and subterms, but linking them and using and doing cross links, okay, between all this structure will determine how the structure of your concept would be. And of course, in step 5, you need to finalize it. So it's a trial and error. In fact, to come out with one concept map, you have to continue doing revision. You keep on revising depending on how you would like how extensive and comprehensive you would like to explain a particular concept or a research question or a problem. Next. Okay, so here, prepare. So how do you prepare and focus your question? One, pick one topic that you are interested in and ask a critical question about it. This is the central topic and focus question. It is usually starts with how, why, and what. Okay, S and F there is supposed to be N. Okay, and what. Remember, the concept map is a three form, AKA, I like this AKA. My son always tells them that complicated. Okay, so better be humble in choosing a question. Okay, uh, you would like to explore or to present a topic or a question through concept maps, but if you are just simply starting, it's better to choose a simple question like, how do I cook adobo? Okay, or how will I cook adobo in 3 ways? Okay, ginugutom ko na ba kayo? Or how do you, right? There are 3 ways to cook. There's how many ways to cook adobo, by the way? Any like there are so many ways to cook adobo. You have spicy adobo, adobong binagoongan, you have double adobo, etc. Okay, remember and do lots of research if you are okay in a topic. Adobo sa gata and adobong toyo. Okay, what else? Uh, marami pang klaseng adobo. Okay, so it's probably that would be an option for you later on after this webinar to look for the best kind of adobo. Okay, and then if you are new in a topic, do lots of research. If you are new to the topic, prepare your topic with a decent number of ideas. It is casually scan through 5 to 10 results. Okay, you have a very helpful, non-complaining assistant in finding your new ideas. Okay, just Google it. Okay, concept map, and then lalabas na lahat yung mga ideas. Okay, let me take for how do you get work done when you are not motivated? Is that an easy question? Or is that a challenging question? How to get work done when you are not motivated? I remember at Chambanjo, that's usually our challenge when we are preparing project report. Like, hindi po nagagawa kasi hindi ako motivated eh. Okay, like wala pa akong gana. Okay, how to enjoy your adobo when you are not. Paano mo magugustuhan ang yung adobo kung wala kang gana? Sorry, I'm poor with my Tagalog. Okay, how do you enjoy your adobo if you don't have appetite or you don't have another thing is adobo sa puti. Okay, I don't know like ano to? Adobo sa puting suka. Sorry. Sorry. Adobo sa puti. I don't know that. Probably walang soy sauce yun. Pero I'm just joking. Like, meron, like, for us Ilocano, we have the Ilocos suka. Sukang Ilocos, which is brown or even ang itim-itim. Alam mo naman may Ilocano na maitim din. Oh, that's a joke. And then adobo sa puti probably uses of adobong puti. Sorry, medyo corny ako. Okay, but just to wake up all of you on how to prepare. Okay, so and then the second step. Okay, can we go to the second step, please? Before we are obsessed with adobo. Okay, list down all related points you can come out with. Notice that all brainstorming features is keep judging on redundancy, relationship, importance unlisted. The objective is on the number of concepts. By the end of this phrase, okay, you may generate around 20 to 50 nodes or concept. Okay, you can do this by putting them in a in a Excel sheet, like focus question: how to get work done when you are not motivated. Okay, social support, reward system, mental flow, coffee, 20-second rule. Okay, what is the 20-second rule? Okay, later on I will share with you. Prevention focus, taking a shower. Okay, habit formation. Okay, overvalue motivation, eating and drinking, just start something, short middles, family support, distraction removal, perspective exercise, brainless work, etc. So, okay, you can come out with, you know, you can put them into Excel sheet first, okay, and then later on you put them into nodes, okay, or nodes, or your nodes are those small boxes in the concept in the concept map. Next, please. The third step is involves two actions: grouping and scoring. All these actions back and forth. Scoring means you now have to determine whether is this important or not important. Okay, is this will this make bigger impact or less impact? Is this more creative or less creative? Okay, bago ba to, or tama lang? Okay, concept mapping, putting related similar load into piles. So here, just like here, how to get work done when you are not motivated. So psychology techniques. Okay, so the 30-second timer, 20-second rule, detailing, are this important? So I think this one are more important. And then taking shower, physical excellence, taking shower. So how do you motivate yourself? Okay, when you are not, when do you get work done when you are not motivated? Like, in preparing this presentation, for example, like I think Achan Benji asked me to for this webinar a week or 2 weeks ago, but I was, I'm not justifying, I'm not procrastinating, but you need to have that motivation to be able to come out with something that is creative, something that's worthy. And there are several ways, and this is, let's say, habit formation. Like, who among you are more effective, or he can do better job, or can better work when you are under stress? Kung bukas na yung deadline, ngayon mo gagawin, rather than doing it 1 week before. Okay, who does better? Those who are doing 1 week before, or those who will just do it a night before the submission of any project? Sino sa inyo ang ganyan? Anyway, probably some of you on the are making comments, but a lot of us sometimes can work better if we are under stress, although that is not a very good habit. Second, the fourth one is, can we have the next slide, please? Okay. The fourth one, this is now the main challenge. Okay, because you have to find a connection between ideas and connect them with linking words or phrases. Example of linking phrases like shows, define as, covers, demonstrated, makes, can be example, etc. So there are so many words. Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko, na challenge yung nalalaman nyo in terms of even grammar. Like, remember, okay, any preposition should be a meaningful sentence. It should be a complete sentence. So, and the use of linking phrases will complete the sentence from node 1 to the next node. Okay, plant is beautiful. Okay, or plant is healthy, etc. After you generate the primary links, create cross links, because it's possible that you can create cross links between the same level of nodes of different branches. Okay, which is, again, this is the challenge, and the challenge of doing concept node, like concept map. I mean, next slide. Okay, and then when you finalize, I said any concept node is concept map is not considered final. It's a working, it's a living document. You can continuously revise this. Okay. Congratulations, by this stage, you are close to finals. Finalizing your maps works well by going through question and answers. Tama ba to? Tama ba tong connection na to? Or is this related? Or I better move this one node here and put a linking verb here, which makes which makes a better sense, And then structure has and the former should be take this up more than the last one. So structure investigation has two parts: visual clarity of the structure and accuracy of relationship. So you now have to look, when you finalize your concept map, you look in terms of visual clarity of the structure. Ano ba? Pag sa isang tingin ba maintindihan na kaagad? Dapat ganon yung concept no concept mind ay concept map na gagawin ninyo. So are the central nodes easily identifiable? Sub-concept branch appropriate the main idea. So may connect ba? Dapat yung visual clarity of the structure may connect. Yung sinasabi na yung sinasabi, may connect ba? So and then are linking like connect to the right directions, or linking words accurately describe the relation between, okay? And hyperlinks effectively used, and so on. Okay, the last one, the next slide. I don't like. Okay, and then content assessment looks on the logic proposition. The proposition makes sense, includes at least critical ideas, at least 20. These are the questions when you finalize your. These are the questions that you ask when you finalize your concept months. Are the propositions, do the propositions make sense? Do they include almost all critical ideas? Here, as I have said, the best practice is that you should have at least 20 critical ideas or concepts, okay, interconnected. Graphic design evaluation includes handling the design elements and creativity of expression, though the nodes and links fit visually approximately aligned to the principles. Do you use contrast to highlight important from one another? Texts are easy to read and appropriately fit to the pace. Okay, this is easy now. I remember when I first did my first concept map, I was just doing it on paper. Okay, now you can easily do it. Okay, by the way, there is a software called iMind. I mean iMind, I small I, capital MIND, which you can use to do concept mapping as well as mind mapping. Okay, thank you. Next, please. Uh, Finalize your maps works going through initial and task. You have to look at the structure, content, and the last one would be graphic design. Okay, do the nodes and links fit? And so this is similar to the first to the earlier slide that I have presented. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so here this is how your concept map for how to get work done when you are not motivated. Okay, sorry, it's very small, but you can Google it later on, and then you have the very important. Those reds are are important ones, and the blue ones are just simply important. Okay, next. So, in other words, okay, this is how, okay, this is a simple template of a concept map, okay? What is the central idea? It is then related to, okay, idea one, important concept two, related idea four. So remember, there is you have your ideas, but sometimes, but you also need to identify the importance of its ideas or its nodes. So this is how you would connect, okay? And you would see the interlinks of this secondary concept, related one ideas related to important concept one and concept two, and so on. Now, Can we have the next slide, please? Organizing terms. This is how you organize terms. Okay. Concept for from a field trip to a paper mill. So you ask all your students to write all the things that they have, you know, the things that they have. And this is, could be a very simple activity for high school or even grade school. So all things that they saw in the paper mill. So paper, now you can connect it with paper is made of wood made of trees, wood made of trees or trees made of wood. Okay, trees made to cut, blah, 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 and so on. So this is how you would simply organize your terms and concepts to assist you in your concept mapping. Next, please. So, okay, well, this is supposed to be a concept map mixed with mind map, COVID-19. Okay, so uh, later on, probably you would try. Okay, can you try? So can you try doing this? Doing this. What is COVID-19? So COVID-19. I shared with you a mind map earlier about COVID-19, but now let's try to come out with the concept map mixed with mind map on COVID-19. And probably, and I'm giving you this template. Then probably, if I am your teacher, you can do this later on your spare time. And let me assure you that you will be motivated to do this as well. Okay. Next, please. Okay. So there are pros and cons of concept maps. Okay. Uh, the pros and cons is fewer ambiguities for audience because it's very clear. The relationships are established, interconnectivity of concepts are established. Ideal for displaying tacit knowledge because tacit knowledge is hard to be explicit when written or verbalized, like some consensus of mental model, like sample COVID-19. Capable of hardcore knowledge modeling. Okay, helpful for content gap analysis. Researchers found concept webbing is beneficial to identify research gap, but to best achieve it, you need to help from data analytic tools. Okay, the 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 disadvantages or cons for concept maths is it is unfriendly for collaboration due to its high learning curve and complexity of rules. Okay, kailangan sundin mo yung mga rules. Okay, remember one rule is each node should be and its node the interconnectivity of its node should be a complete proposition or complete or meaningful center. It's hard to make lines overlapping. Connections are complicated and type of which you have to organize them. Low readability, you have more than 20 nodes. That's even worse because a very good concept node, okay, according to JD Novak, is it should have at least 20 nodes. Probably for elementary teachers or for elementary students, okay, 10 nodes would be fine, 15 for high school, and 20 nodes for college. Okay, but as much as possible, try your best if you are to have at least more than at least 20 nodes if you are preparing concept node. Okay, what about the pros and cons of mind maps? Okay, so here. It's adaptable for both academic and business environment. Okay, useful for brainstorming. All you focus is just putting topics out. Easy to make, low learning curve. While the concept map, it requires high learning curve. No fussy to many relationship, just free charts. Okay, flexible to change. You can attach or detach topics. Mind maps are capable for constant updates and easier to read. No hopping from one corner to the okay, because it is, remember, mind map is either top to bottom or from left to right. Okay, but in concept note, a concept mapping, it's always in a hierarchy. Okay, the disadvantage to mind map is that more ambiguities to audience due to the lack of linking phrases. Okay, while concept maps have linking phrases. Mind maps do not have linking phrases. Incompetent and articulate tacit knowledge due to lack of link phrases or simple relationship. not suitable for in-depth analysis. Mind map pulls your ULES in tracking through, look at the listed concepts. Okay, now, next slide. Remember, concept map, just to wrap up the part one and part two before I go to the next part, is that concept map was developed by J.F. Novak. Just a review, from Cornell University, defines graphical representation of organized knowledge. It includes concepts and relationship between them and indicated. So the red one is the concept now. So you can see the relationship, okay? Linking words and linking phrases. The mind map, okay, are popularized by Tony Buzan. Okay, a mind map is defined as which represent visually, usually has a central idea. Look at the green figure, okay, and it has associated ideas around in its radial structure. It's parang coronavirus. Okay, ang mind map. That's easy to remember. Okay, next. Okay, with the comparison between concept map and mind map, it's time for making choice. Who would like, so the red is the concept map, the green is the mind map. Okay, so concept map helps people to structure information. How? By using topics relationship between them. So if you go this way, go up and then go to the right, then that is one proposition. Okay, concept map is visual representation. That's one proposition. Concept map is collaborative. That's one proposition. Concept map is easy to use. Why? It has a flexible structure. So here, the linking words, okay, will give you a complete and meaningful proposition. While in mind map, okay, ano lang, ano to, sanga-sanga, just like your coronavirus. Okay. Now, next slide, please. Okay. So we'll proceed to the next part 3 so that we have time for question and answer. Okay. How to manage your time with mind mapping. If you're thinking about mind mapping your time and managing it, you are in the right place. Okay. Agree, or do we have can we make a poll on this? Okay. Do you agree or disagree? Okay. Hindi pwede ang social desirability response. Okay, like it's either yes or no. So, yes, mind maps and help you manage your time. Okay, that's why the third part is focus on time management. Next slide, please. Okay, so first let's define what time management is. Okay, time management is a process of planning, exercising control, conscious. Okay, remember conscious, like conscious control of time. So that's time management. Time management is the process of exercising conscious control of time spent on specific activity. It's a system that designs a combination of processes, tools, technique, and methods. Okay, and this time we're looking at time management in terms of the techniques and tools and the techniques and tools that we are introducing to manage your time is actually through mind mapping or concept mapping. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, why most people fail in time management? Like, why do you fail? Like, why is time management? Like, sometimes financial management is even easier than time management. Why? Okay. You need to spend time wisely on things that matters to you. Okay. Are you spending your time wisely only on things that matter to you? Yes or no? Then why do we ever fail? Don't we all want to spend on things important to us because we are such a mess? Okay. Who will disagree that with this statement that sometimes most of the time, okay, we're so messy. Okay, ang gulo-gulo natin, like ang kalat natin. Okay, hindi natin alam kung ang unang unahin. That's why we we cannot do our time management at all. Next slide, please. Why most people fail? Because, okay, our brain loves to lie. Do you agree with that? Okay. Itong gusto ko, okay, just like biblical, the spirit, anong sabi nila, but okay, gustuhin man natin, pero ayaw ng katawan natin. Okay? And sometimes our brain cannot control us, and it even tolerates our lying. Mamaya na lang. Ay, may oras pa, and so on. Okay? It lies to you that it's right to scroll TikTok or Facebook for a few minutes, right? That it's okay to work on an easy but unimportant task, and that it is fine to wake up late in the morning. Okay? Nakaka-relate ba tayo dito? Okay? Our brain tells us that, no, it's okay. Well, 2 minutes while, meron ka pang oras, mag-TikTok ka muna or mag-Facebook ka muna, and that's okay. You can do other things. But, okay, is TikTok, Facebook an important task for you? Particularly if you are preparing for your exam or you are preparing for your class. And we love to doubt. Is it really, is really the one real thing? Ito ba talaga? Why does it work out that way? Maybe I should explore more. No, it's not okay to waste time on TikTok, on Facebook, wow, or even Instagram. And we never know whether an idea works or not unless we get it real. Agree? Next slide. Why should you consider mind mapping for managing your time? Here are the few reasons why mind maps for time management is still the thing. Okay, meaning very important. It shows you the big picture. It is simple and frees you from overthinking. Okay, it has excellent compatibility. Okay, and so on. So don't worry though. We've included some advice on how you do in this very article. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this is the time for your mind map. So to do for May 4 to 7, for example. Okay, group 1, what's your goal? What's your goal for today? And then group 2, what are your tasks? And then group 2, what are your tasks? Group 3, group 4, etc. So this is a simple way to do your time management using your mind map. Okay. So if only we are in a face-to-face or we can be interactive. Okay, I will ask each one of you to do what to do from May to 4. I don't know, like I got this, so I just copied this. So what to do? What's the date today? Today is September 23. So what to do from October 1 to 5? Okay. When do you start classes? I think you're starting your classes in a week. So what to do before classes start? So what are your goals? Okay. What are your goals? Okay, and then the group one, meaning to say for one activity, and then you have the task. Group 2, you have the tasks, and then group 3. So this is a simple way of coming out with the mind map, okay, for time management. Next slide, please. Okay, this is an example of a weekly plan. Okay, revision for plan week. So, for example, you're enrolled in 7 subjects: chemistry, geography, biology, physics, English, French, and mathematics. So this could be your mind map. Okay. By the way, I forgot to mention that when you are doing mind mapping, it is always important to have color coding. I'm not referring to the car color code transportation, but red is usually the most important one. The green is the ongoing, etc. Like use the traffic light. Okay, particularly in time management. Okay, you use the traffic light as your coding. Like red is usually the deadline, right? You cannot walk. You cannot walk. You cannot proceed. Okay, green is ongoing, and yellow is in between stopped and start. Okay, so you can use green, orange, and red in your weekly plan. Next, the other one is okay. This is more complicated. Weekly plan like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, etc. This is an example, especially if you are so busy, okay, to do all your things, then probably this could be an example of your mind map for a weekly plan. Second, next, please. So how to control your time with mind mapping? Okay, uh, first is holistic reflection. Write down all your tasks, all the tasks you are doing, including hobbies or extracurricular activities. Then prioritize them with the first level to lower levels. Second, write down challenging goals or actionable goals and deadlines for each activity. You have to set your goals. Third is you have to develop your strategy. Drill down on its tasks, branch, and focus on one planning at a time. Okay. Probably we sometimes we consider ourselves Superman or superhuman or Superman or Superwoman, that we can always do multitasking. But it is always best, even in any time management activity, okay, is that you have to take one, you have to focus on one planning at a time. And then the fourth step is plan for tomorrow. Get back to the big picture and duplicate the goal strategy sheet every night after your work or class. And then the following morning, you monitor, ano bang natapos ko, ano pang hindi ko natapos. Start the day by checking the task list and track the time. So this is how you would do your mind mapping, particularly if you are, can we go back to the slide on mind mapping wherein we have the goals, you have the group 1, 2, 3. One more. Yeah, this one. Okay, so probably this is the simplest uh, takeaway for you, takeaway for you today. Like after this webinar, probably get a piece of paper, okay, write down what do you do for this week or next week, write your goals, and then organize your tasks into into groups. Group 1, those two, and then put all your tasks and then prioritize. Because as I've said, you can use red, okay, if it's the most important, orange, something that can wait, and green that is ongoing. Okay, next, please. Okay, yeah. Final thoughts. Okay, I think and final thoughts. If you waste one day after another, your chance of achieving isn't just an improbability, it's an impossibility. And here's the thing, it's not hard not to waste time, right? Eating the frog is intimidating, the daily routine is boring, worse than that, the journey seems endless. You try different methods, however, years gone by, things are still the same. Then you come across mind mapping and then the advocacy about mind maps in learning, maybe this time the case would be different. Okay, with that, can we have the last uh, slide? Maraming salamat po. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, danke, mahalo, arigato gozaimasu, etc. Gracias, merci beaucoup, and then shasha, shukran. Maraming salamat. I guess I will now open for question and answer. Okay, let's try to manage our. I tried to manage on my time. I told that I will have only 1 minute per slide because I have about 60 slide, but I think I was not able to do that. Probably I need to do a mind map for that as well later.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc Cha, for sharing with us how to make the most out of our online classes through mind maps as a tool to better present our ideas. So, indeed, these tips will be handful and useful for our students and even our teachers when they take down notes, prepare for their exam, for time management, and many more. So guys, anong major takeaway ninyo from our session today with Doc Cha? Sige nga, comment them down below. And ako personally ang natandaan ko talaga yung difference ng mind map sa concept map. And then, I realized na itong mind mapping will be great in tandem with time blocking. Kung naaalala niyo yung Pomodoro technique natin, pwede siyang isabay dun sa time blocking tapos maglagay ka ng mga mind map. So, thank you so much, Doc Cha, for those insights. Talagang ang dami po naming natutunan for today. All right, so we are ready for your questions, guys. Again, kindly ask questions relevant to our topic. Comment them down below. Include your name, your school, and affiliation, and then your question. So an example is being shown in your screen. But in the meantime, may nauna ng mga questions tayo nakita, no, from Doc Cha. This one is from Laili Nora Belgafor Mangondaya. Her question is, are there tools or apps that can be used to make concept or mind maps for online learning? Thank you.
Yes. Okay, if you Google mind maps or concept maps, it will directly it will directly the link will be sorry. Do I need to start my video? Okay. Okay. Yes, there are so many ways. There are so many apps, or there are so free. You can download it. One the most common, particularly for mind map, is the iMind. Okay, which is actually the one developed by Tony Busan himself. Okay, and there are others.
All right. So aside from softwares, Doc Cha, they can also use yung natural, sir, no? Yung parang if they want to jot down the mind maps, that would be okay too, right?
Yeah, yeah. As I have said, when I was first asked to do concept map, sa papel ko lang naman sinulat eh. Okay, now we have computers. Okay, the good thing about computer is that you know the flowchart program. Okay, the flowchart, that's a very good way. Even in your PowerPoint, you can easily move those boxes. Okay, resize them, and then put all those connections, and then put the text box in it. That is an easiest way to do it. Okay, in fact, I realized na so that the students will be more focused in terms of when you are doing your lecture. Especially for teachers, my suggestion is you come out with just single one mind map. If you're talking about, for example, about environment and population, you can just come out with just mind map, and then just stick with that one slide, and you will be able to do a lot of discussions and a lot of conversation with your students with just simply one slide. Okay? Pero mahirap yun. Okay? Mahirap na gawin. Kasi dapat wala kang makaligtaan na concept, particularly if you are doing a technical if you are teaching a technical subject. But I think that's even easier because if you share that one slide to your students, no, kahit isang papel lang, they can easily review it rather than reviewing 5 or 10 pages of readings na ang daming narrative pero konti lang yung nararating. After all, okay, most learners, as researchers show that most learners retain more if they see visual. No, visual learners can return more rather than the other kinds of learners.
All right. Thank you, Doc Cha. I hope that answers your question. And pareho po kami ni Ma'am Josie Evie. Yung major takeaway daw po niya, Doc Cha, is how mind map and concept map differs from each other. Pareho po kami we thought it's just the same. Pag sinabing concept map and mind map, parang, okay, it's just the same. Pero hindi pala. So, pag concept map, there are linking words. Or,
yun lang.
Is. So,
may mga relationship are established. Okay? That's why sabi ko, babaero, lalakero ang concept map eh. Mas matino yung mind map kasi isang diretso lang siya. Okay? Pero dumadami. Nagpapadami siya pero diretso lang siya. And the third thing here is Okay, mind maps, concept map is also different from the different graphic organizers. Okay, remember, we also have graphic organizers like the sequence chart, story map, KWR chart, uh, Venn diagram, the fishbone chart, or the cause and effect diagram. So the graphic organizers are also mind mapping tools, but they are of different kind.
Mhm. Okay. So iba pa pala siya. Okay. In,
Oo.
in
Yeah.
relation to that, Doc Cha, meron pa pong question dito. Oh, nagpapasalamat po muna si Christina Garcia. Thank you. Thanks for sharing your knowledge, Dr. Richard. By the way po, which is more advisable in letting the students construct concept map to provide concepts or let the student provide the concepts?
Uh, well, I hope I don't know if your students are high school, elementary, or or college. Okay, if it's in elementary or high school, what you could do is, of course, you cannot do this. Even in online class, okay, you come up with the words. Okay, you can just ask them like, give me a word. For example, COVID. Okay, COVID-19. So you will show them COVID-19, and then ask the students to write words related to COVID-19. So, and then ask them to come out with established relationships. So remember our COVID, ang dami no, no? Origin, transmission, prevention, treatment, etc. Information. So, maganda yung it would be good if you ask the students to participate, because this will also allow them to express themselves and to contribute to the development of the concept map.
All right. Thank you, Doc. Another question po is from Teresa Bumanglag, Buenaventura. How do mind maps
Hi, Ma'am Tere.
how
Ma'am Tere is a high, is a very renowned international consultant and curriculum and teaching.
Okay po. Hi, ma'am. Ito po yung question niya, Doc. How do mind maps and concept maps relate to metacognition? And how can these tools be used to help students develop their self-monitoring skills in learning?
Yes. Okay, both actually are metacognitive metacognitive tools. Okay, they help students to organize their thoughts, because that's the idea of metacognition. Okay, is that the student should be able to organize their thoughts and learn from what they are and learn from what they are doing. So uh, I would say that the concept map, if you are asking which is more useful or helpful in terms of developing metacognition, it is concept map. Because remember, in concept map, you're able to establish relationships and you are able to establish propositions wherein it helps the students come out with logical structure of his thought processes.
Okay po. Thank you, Doc. And also, ako po ang may personal question, Doc. When to use and when not to use mind maps po ba, Doc?
Okay. Okay, ang hirap na question, no? Like, okay. Now, what is your intention? What is your intention? If you're a teacher, probably it's very important to come out with mind maps, because this will this will encourage creativity. As I have said, this will instigate creativity, alertness, and organization, as well as logical as well as critical thinking of your students. Okay, but overdoing it would probably not helpful to your students, because it becomes a routine, and so you lost the intent of doing mind mapping by having it becoming a daily routine. So from time to time, it would be very good to do ask students to do mind mapping, or you do your own mind mapping. Okay. However, if you are attending a webinar, for example, okay, if you're attending a webinar, for example, then it's and it's more difficult to write sentences or narratives. So you can just pick the words and then try to establish connect. Then and then later on you go back to it and try to oo nga pala no, ito yung sinabi na plants pala, should have roots, plants produce fruits and so on. So concept to me, concept mapping is more useful when you are attending a lecture just to organize your thoughts. Okay. Remember, though, okay, this is caveat. Remember, though, that concept mapping is different from note taking. Okay, right. Concept mapping is not equivalent of note taking. The thing is, in concept mapping, while you pick important keywords or concept, you are already establishing. That is where the metacognitive processes will come in, because you are trying to establish relationship. In fact, you can make your own way of organizing the words or the concepts in a more logical way that you can easily understand it by yourself. You can rephrase. You can rephrase the way you thought. Like, this is what I heard, but this should be what should be. This should be the way it should be.
Alright. Thank you so much, Doc Cha. Ayan po, sobrang dami pong nagpapasalamat sa ating
Maraming salamat din.
opo, from Nina
Okay.
Francis, sir. Thank you, sir. The concept map discussion will be very helpful for our upcoming qualifying exam. Also, the
Yes.
mapping for time management will be applicable in our situation right now. And I definitely agree po.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
we will not be amiss. Okay, so Doc Cha, any message po to our participants, especially po sa mga students and mga teachers po joining our webinar for this morning?
Um, as I have said, I the concept map, like like concept mapping was actually one course that I took in my in Japan. It sounds very complicated, but if you are able to get used to it, particularly when you are listening to webinars or lectures, okay, just to organize your notes, okay, in a better way, more organized, the way you understood, the way you understood it. It's not, because the usual note taking is sentence per sentence, sinusulat natin. But rather, kung words lang, naglalagay lang tayo ng, like, instead na marami kasing nakikinig na diba sa lecture, especially sa atin, okay? Nagdo-drawing tayo habang pinapakinggan natin si Atcham Benji, diba? Nagdo-drawing tayo, tapos pagkatapos nun meron na tayong painting. Okay, instead of doing that, you might as well try to write all the concept and then put all the links. Or okay, your mind maps, instead of anong una kong gagawin, okay, just put, I need to finish my assignment in biochemistry. Okay, one is anong kailangan ko. Second, ano yung deadline. Okay, third, sino yung audience, ano yung dapat output. So ano yan. So instead of just pag-isipan mo, kasi kaya nga these are helpful tools to organize your thoughts and your thinking processes, because they will present visually what you need to do in just one piece of paper, or in just one piece of paper, or one cardboard, etc.
All right. So there you have it, guys. Dr.
So yeah. So I would say na concept mapping and mind maps are, very useful scaffolding tools for learning as well as in teaching.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you have it,
Yeah.
guys. Those were meaningful pieces of advice from Doc Cha. Talagang napaka-relevant ng ating topic. Very interesting yung ating topic for this morning, na talaga namang magagamit natin, not just for online learning, but for people who are also working, so that our life would not be a mess, lahat naka-organize para hindi na nasasayang yung mga oras natin. Again, maraming salamat po, Doc Cha. Now, At this moment, Team LRC would like to take this opportunity to thank our speaker for his valuable time. So to award the Certificate of Appreciation, may I kindly recognize our director, Ma'am Benji Flor. So let me just kindly read the citations first. UP, University of the Philippines Los Baños Learning Resource Center present the Certificate of Appreciation to Richard DLC Gonzales for serving as resource speaker in the 7th session on Mind Mapping Tools, How to Make Online Learning Effective and Meaningful in GKNB Mag-Online Learning, a webinar series on how to study at home under the new normal, held today, September 23, 2020, given this 23rd day of September 2020 at Learning Resource Center, UPLP College, Laguna, signed by our director, Benjamina Paula G. Flor.
Yes.
ใช่ไล่ๆเด้ออาจารย์Richard. So, kopchay laylay means thank you very much in Lao language. So, magkasama kami ni Doc Cha sa Lao for some time. So, yun ang aming batian. No? So, kaya ang tawag sa akin ay Achan.
2011. Yeah.
Yes, 5-year project. Yeah. So, thank you so much, Doc Cha. We are so blessed to have you to share your thoughts about mind and concept mapping. And despite your very hectic, no, talagang totoong hectic ang schedule ni Doc Cha, but he took time out to be with us because, you know, as a consultant, you only don't need to manage your time. You also have to manage your budget. And without even asking if there's a professional fee for this presentation or for this sharing, wala yung kay Doc Cha because as a teacher, talagang he wants to share and that passion of teaching is something that he wants to do and may not have the time to do so. So I hope we made your day, Doc Cha. We have very positive comments in our Facebook page. And I hope you all learned from this experience. And for our thesis students, this is something that you can use in conceptualizing or finding your unknown. Baka by that time, makita nyo na ang unknown ninyo with the use of these tools in organizing your thoughts. And mas maganda nga kasi it's coupled with time management. So I hope you are able to learn so much from this sharing of Dr. Gonzales. And at this point, we'd also like to acknowledge a person who is very close to us, and we want to greet her a very happy birthday to Ate She Hermosa Ebron.
Oh, wow.
So Ate She,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Akala mo nalimutan namin ano. So we are so happy that Ate She is celebrating her birthday today. So can we sing a happy birthday for Ate She? Go Chico.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Ate She.
Happy birthday.
Salamat po. Akala ko po walang nakakala, Char. Walang pate. Anyway, thank you so much, Ma'am Benj. Thank you so much, Doc Cha. Thank you so much, Team LRC. Thank you so much, Sir Chico. So, now for the evaluation of this session.
So, Josh, nasaan ang cake natin?
Ito po. Andito na po, andito na. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Ate She.
Dapat may mind map.
May mind map pa rin. Salamat po, Team LRC and everyone. So, going back to the evaluation of the session po, the link to the evaluation form will be sent to your registered email address. So, kindly help us serve you better by answering the form. And please answer the form to get your e-certificate of participation for this session until 7 p.m. today. So, Also allow us to have at least 48 hours to generate your e-certificate, which will be also sent to your email. So it's very important that you provided us with your correctly spelled email address so that you will receive the evaluation form. But apart from the certificate, more than the certificate, we do hope that you gain valuable insights from our session with Doc Cha. Okay? At this point, we would like to recognize our team, Team LRC and GKNB core team headed by our director, Ma'am Benji Flor. And on our technical side is our University Research Associate, Joshua Michael G. Jonas. And also here with us is our Tita Allen. Thank you, Tita Allen, for being with us. And our webinar production online director, of course, Direct Prof. Mark Lester M. Chico. Thank you so much po. Also, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. It has been our team's pleasure and privilege of serving you amidst this pandemic. Maraming salamat pong muli sa ating si
Sorry,
Dr.
my son.
Hi. Hi.
Kay
Oh.
Dr. Richard DLC Gonzales. Muli po, dito na po nagtatapos ang ating programa. This has been your moderator, the birthday girl, Cheryl Ed Hermosa Ebron. Mga isko at iska, together, let us build strong habits every day. Stop depending on motivation. Instead, choose to stick to your schedule and overcome challenges and distractions over and over again. Be consistent, be persistent, trust the process, and trust your progress. After all, great things come from small beginnings. So again, thank you guys for joining us. Team LRC, we'll see you on the next one. Keep safe and God bless you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy birthday!